Hi everyone, I'm Becky and welcome to another slow cooker recipe. So this week we're going to be doing a Lamb Rogan Josh. So there is some herbs and the recipe is going to be online for you to have a look at. I am cheating a little bit, but it's only because we can only use what we've got from the community shop. So we've got some nice diced lamb here. Now a little tip of this. If you leave this marinating overnight before you start this recipe, then the meat actually sucks up all the flavour. It has got a little bit of fat on it, but that helps with flavour. So I've got some Lamb Rogan Josh paste here, so I'm going to pop that into my bowl. I've got about 4 tablespoons of this. Now this curry is going to stretch out and it will feed about 6 people. If you leave this in the fridge overnight and rub in all them lovely flavours from the marinade, what happens is it starts to suck up all the flavours from the marinade into the meats, and you get much more of a good flavour from it. But I'm just showing you this so you know that you can do it overnight. Right, so I'm going to put my marinated lamb into the slow cooker. Try and get as much of the marinade that's left in the bowl in there as well. And then for this recipe I'm actually using some bay leaves, so I'm going to pop one of those in there. Now I would say take that out before you dish it up. We've got some salt and pepper, I've got some mushrooms, some peppers, an onion, some chopped tomatoes. These are just optional things that you can use. I've got some coconut milk, so if you don't like it too strong, coconut milk cools down the chilies in the curry. And some button mushrooms. So we're going to start with some button mushrooms. Now again, you can use all different veggies. If you've got them left over from your Sunday roast, you can pop this into your curry and it will bulk it out and it'll go a lot further. You can put potatoes in there as well. Because that bulks it out. So if you haven't got any of these that you've got, that I've got, you can use frozen veg, tin veg in there, and it will bulk out your recipe and give it more flavour, just a little bit different. So on this recipe though, on the card, it actually says about your cumin seeds and things like that you'd use for a Rogan Josh. But because we're working from the community shop, we have to use what we've got. And we're going to be compromising. So I'm going to take my chopped tomatoes.
You'll have all that in the paste as well though, won't you?
Yeah, you've got all them flavours in your paste. Now you can use fresh tomatoes if you want to use fresh tomatoes. And this just bulks out the recipe and gives it a lovely flavour. So I've just tipped the chopped tomatoes in there. A lot of people always say, what about browning your meat off? Now you can, but I like to leave it cooking for that extra time in the slow cooker for about 8 hours, and you get all the juices from your meats in your actual dish that you're making, because it runs into the sauce. So I'm just taking the pepper here. Again, I've just cut round the top. I've given it a little twist. Pop out the seeds so you've got none in there. And we're just going to be nice and rustic. Don't have to be perfect again. Doing gorilla claw hands so we don't chop no fingers off. And we're just going to slice that up nice and rustic and just pop that straight in there. So again, this is another recipe that you can put in your slow cooker all day whilst you're at work or while you're out, and then you can come home and you've got a beautiful curry for when you get home. You can just whip up some rice that takes 10 to 15 minutes. A couple of naan breads in the oven, and there you go, you've got tea. So like I say, if you want to make it mild and you're doing it for children, coconut milk is a really good thing to cool down the recipe. Or if you've got any Greek yogurt, you can put that in there and that'll cool it down as well. A little tip that's quite nice, so if you've got Greek yogurt and you've got some mint sauce or some dried minced herbs in the cupboard, if you use a little bit of sugar, say 2 teaspoons of sugar in with a little bit of mint sauce into a natural Greek yogurt, mix that all up, and then you've got a nice cooling dish that goes nice with a curry. So we're just slicing up the pepper. And again, we're using peppers for colour, because colour is quite important when you're making a dish. It's more eye appealing. Now you could put any veggies in there, and you could even turn this into a vegetable Rogan Josh. It doesn't have to be meat. Or you can use substitute meat as well, so you can use tofu, any of your other things that you like being vegetarian, you can pop that in there and bulk out your dish. So we just sliced up the peppers, and I pop that into the slow cooker. It's something that you can prep in the morning, like I say, and it's all done for the rest of the day. So we're going to get an onion, and I'm going to take the top off, and then you've got a fairy bit at the bottom of your onion. I'm going to slice that as well. And then if you give it a little slice down the side of your onion, and then just peel back with your knife, the peel comes straight away, and you get rid of that nasty bit. So I'm just going to slice the onion in half, and I'm going to do some big slices. I'm not dicing this one. So I'm going to do some big slices in this. So nice crocodile hands again, so the blade don't touch your fingers and don't chop it off. So I'm going to pop them in there, just like that. Now if you like it extra spicy, you can put some fresh chilies in. Now I like my curries quite spicy, so just pop some fresh chilies in there. Just make sure you don't touch your eyes when you're chopping up chilies. So we're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in there for seasoning. A bit of salt. And then I'm just going to use the top of the coconut milk. Well, I don't know if a lot of people know much about coconut milk. It can be quite creamy on the top, and that's the bit that I'm actually going for this dish. Sometimes it can be quite thick, so you can actually spoon off that creamy bit, and then the rest of it's quite watery. So I'm just going to use the top half of the coconut milk. I'm just going to tip that in the top, so I've used about half of there. And I'm just going to get a spoon and give it a good stir around. And again, I've used the bag again, just for cleanness really, so it doesn't stick or anything like that. Give it a good mix round, and then all them flavours, once it's cooking through for about 7 to 8 hours, it'll come out into that curry and give it beautiful flavours. So you get a nice strong curry. Okay, so there we go. As you can tell, it's just like a pinky orangey colour, but that will get deeper as it starts cooking along. So that's another recipe again for slow cooking, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye guys.